Before every dangerous hunt, ancient humans did something strange. They covered their own faces in paint, thick lines of red, black, and white, sometimes taking hours to apply, before walking directly toward animals that could easily kill them. This wasn't decoration, it wasn't vanity, and it definitely wasn't random. So why would anyone deliberately slow themselves down right before facing one of the most dangerous moments of their entire day? Camouflage is the obvious first answer, and it's a real one. Certain paint patterns, especially darker, broken-up designs, genuinely helped break up the human silhouette against natural backgrounds like dense forest, tall grass, or rocky terrain. A solid, uniform human shape stands out clearly to an animal's eye. A face and body broken into irregular dark and light patches blends far more effectively into shifting shadows and foliage. Many prey animals rely heavily on detecting movement and recognizing familiar shapes rather than sharp visual detail. Breaking up the outline of a human face and body with irregular painted patterns could genuinely delay recognition just long enough to matter, buying a hunter crucial extra seconds before being spotted. But here's where it gets stranger. Camouflage alone doesn't explain everything researchers have found. Some face paint patterns discovered through cave art and preserved artifacts weren't subtle or blending at all. They were bold, symmetrical, and clearly meant to be seen, not hidden. This points to a second major function: psychological transformation, both for the hunter and potentially for the animal being hunted. For the hunter, applying paint before a hunt appears to have functioned as a powerful mental ritual. The physical act of carefully painting your own face isn't quick or thoughtless. It takes focus, patience, and deliberate attention. Many researchers believe this process helped shift a hunter's mental state, moving from ordinary daily awareness into a focused, almost trance-like readiness, specifically suited for the danger ahead. Think about how differently your brain responds to routine tasks versus a deliberate, almost ceremonial preparation. The simple act of methodically painting specific lines and patterns onto your own face likely triggered a genuine psychological shift, a clear internal signal that ordinary life had paused and something far more serious was about to begin. This kind of pre-performance ritual isn't unique to ancient hunters either. Modern athletes still use remarkably similar techniques today: specific routines, physical rituals, and repeated preparation sequences designed to shift their mental state before high-stakes moments, suggesting this psychological mechanism may be a deeply built-in feature of how human minds prepare for danger or intense performance. There's also compelling evidence pointing toward intimidation as a direct factor, particularly when hunting alongside a group. Bold, aggressive facial patterns, especially ones emphasizing the eyes or mouth, may have made hunters appear more threatening, both to prey animals and to potential predators or rival groups who might be watching from a distance. A face transformed by sharp, contrasting paint doesn't look like an ordinary human face anymore. It looks like something else entirely, something harder to immediately identify and predict, which may have created just enough hesitation in a dangerous animal's reaction time to give hunters a critical advantage. This wasn't only about individual hunters either. Coordinated face painting across an entire hunting group could have created a unified, unmistakable visual signal, instantly identifying who belonged to the hunting party versus who didn't. Critical information in fast-moving, high-stress situations where split-second recognition genuinely mattered. Now, here's something most people don't expect. The specific colors chosen weren't arbitrary at all. Red, one of the most commonly used pigments across countless ancient cultures, often came from naturally occurring ochre, iron-rich earth pigments found in many regions around the world. Red carries powerful symbolic weight across nearly every human culture ever studied, frequently associated with blood, life force, danger, and raw physical power. Exactly the kind of intense energy a hunter might want to psychologically embody before facing genuine danger. Black, often created from charcoal or burnt materials, was frequently used to create sharp, dramatic contrast, emphasizing specific facial features and adding to the overall intimidating or transformative visual effect. White, sometimes made from chalk, clay, or crushed bone, added further contrast and was sometimes specifically associated with death or the spirit world in various ancient belief systems, adding a layer of genuinely unsettling symbolism to an already intense visual transformation. Some cultures also incorporated additional materials into their pigments, ash, animal fat, to help the paint adhere and last longer, or even crushed minerals that added subtle shimmer or texture, showing a surprisingly sophisticated understanding of material properties, developed entirely through trial and error passed down across generations. The specific combination and placement of these colors likely varied significantly between different cultures and regions, but the underlying pattern remains strikingly consistent. Ancient humans repeatedly and independently arrived at similar conclusions, that visual transformation before a hunt served real practical purposes beyond simple decoration. Archaeological evidence supporting all of this comes from multiple sources: preserved pigments found alongside hunting tools, cave paintings depicting figures with clearly painted faces engaged in hunting scenes, and burial sites where remnants of these same pigments have been discovered near weapons and hunting equipment. Some archaeological sites have revealed grinding stones specifically worn down in patterns consistent with regular pigment preparation, suggesting this wasn't an occasional or rare practice, but a consistent, routine part of hunting preparation carried out repeatedly over long stretches of time, refined and repeated exactly because it worked. What's particularly fascinating is how this practice likely served multiple overlapping purposes simultaneously: practical camouflage, psychological preparation, group coordination, and intimidation, all happening through a single, relatively simple ritual performed before nearly every significant hunt. This wasn't superstition without substance. It was a sophisticated, multi-layered survival strategy, refined over countless generations, blending practical environmental knowledge with a deep, intuitive understanding of psychology, communication, and group dynamics, developed entirely through observation and lived experience, long before any of these underlying concepts had formal names. None of this required written records, formal science, or any conscious theoretical understanding of psychology or camouflage as we describe them today. It simply required generations of hunters noticing what worked, refining it slightly each time, and passing that refined knowledge down until an entire ritual emerged that just happened to serve multiple genuine survival purposes at once. Today, when we see face paint used in sports, military contexts, or ceremonial events, we're witnessing echoes of this exact same ancient logic, still quietly operating thousands of years later, even when most people using it today have no idea just how deep its roots actually go. A sports fan painting their face before a big game, a soldier applying camouflage before a mission, a performer transforming their appearance before stepping on stage, all of them, whether they realize it or not, are tapping into the exact same psychological transition mechanism that ancient hunters relied on to prepare for genuine life or death danger. If you find this hidden layer of ancient hunting strategy as fascinating as we do, let us know in the comments which reason surprised you the most. And if you want more deep dives into the surprising strategy behind ancient survival, hit subscribe for more.